Hello and welcome back to the offensive line. We're back this time with another popular Christian cliche, which is, God helps those who help themselves. I first heard this one when I was in high school when the parents of a friend of mine told her she needed to put all of her effort into getting good grades. Only if you study your hardest will God help you to get into a good college and get a good job. And it's actually really sad because this phrase that's not even found in the Bible became the defining theme of her entire life.
God helps those who help themselves is one of the most used Christian cliches. We talked about where it doesn't come from, which is the Bible, but where did the phrase actually come from? It originally comes from an article titled Discourses Concerning Government, written by a man named Algernon Sidney. It also appears in Benjamin Franklin's Poor Richard's Almanac. Yes, that Benjamin Franklin. But not only is the source of this saying not biblical, the meaning of this phrase is also not biblical.
The problem with this phrase is that it's in direct contradiction with the actual biblical view of God's kindness towards people, which is that God helps those who cannot help themselves. The reality is that none of us deserve it. It is a truly humbling reality. God helps the helpless. Isaiah 25:4 says, "For you have been a defense for the helpless, a defense for the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shade from the heat." In Romans 5:6, "For while we were still helpless, at the right time, Christ died for the ungodly."
The reality is that every single one of us is born helpless. We all have a problem called sin, and we can't do anything on our own to remedy this situation. But thank God that He helps us who cannot help ourselves. Jesus did the very thing that we could not do, save us from our sin. He took the full wrath of God that we deserved. He paid the penalty that we could not pay. God sent His Son to be the very help that we needed because we could not help ourselves.
When we say that God helps those who help themselves, we are not only being foolish, but proud. And that pride causes us to think that we can do everything by our own selves. We just need to pick ourselves up by our own bootstraps. But instead, God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. That's the essence of the problem with this saying. But before we end, something else needs to be said. On one hand, with this saying, we have those who believe in their own effort, which is incorrect.
But on the other hand, there are many Christians who don't put in any effort at all. We talked about this exact problem in one of our previous videos. Too many Christians are passive, just waiting on God to work in their lives while they just sit there. They point to the fact that God will do all things according to His will and His timing. And that's also wrong. The reality is that God works through us. Philippians 2 says it is God who is at work in you, both to will and to work for His good pleasure.
He works through our prayers and our evangelism. He works through our ambitions, just like He worked through Hannah's ambition to have a child in 1 Samuel. God helps those who cannot help themselves. Instead of just focusing on our own work, we need to wait on God. But that doesn't mean that we can't be active. Instead, we need to actively wait, trusting in God's timing, but still putting in effort.
We hope that was another helpful video for you all. All of these Christian cliches so far that we have talked about are sayings that cause confusion. Not all of them are outright wrong. In fact, only the one we talked about last week was completely unbiblical when we talked about the notion that Jesus was a social justice warrior. Follow us for more videos like this.
If you like these videos, please let us know. Leave a comment down below letting us know your thoughts. You can always follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well for a look behind the scenes. We are the offensive line, and this season we are uncomplicating the complicated. We'll see you next time.
We hope that was another helpful for you all.
Helpful video.
Oh, helpful. Another helpful for you all.
You know what I was gonna say, right?
Yeah, you guys got it.